I used to think success was simple. You work hard, you make money, you win. But one night, over a quiet conversation with a friend, everything shifted. I was on one of my usual rants, talking about building a business, having freedom, doing something meaningful, and ultimately just being successful. But then they looked at me and said, yeah, okay, but what really is success to you? That question stopped me in my tracks. Because if I'm being honest with you, I didn't have a good answer. Because I had too many. I had goals, I had dreams, but I'd never stopped to truly define the destination. And that conversation triggered something, a need to figure out what I was really chasing and why I still didn't feel like I'd made it, even when I was ticking all the boxes. And what I found about myself, about the world, about how we define success, it changed everything. Now, I've always been driven, not by laziness, not by entitlement, but by this deep fire under the skin kind of hunger, the kind you can't shake. And I thought, if I could just build something of my own, if I didn't have to wake up and answer to someone else's dream, that would be success. I imagined a life where I could fund schools in a third world country, see my siblings thriving in the things they love to do, spending time with the people who really matter most of all, and just knowing I had the skills to rebuild everything if it came crashing down. But even when I started moving towards that vision, I still felt this strange emptiness. It wasn't failure, it was just a sense of lack. Like no matter how close I got or no matter how hard I worked, I wasn't there and I never could be. And that scared me. Because if this wasn't success, then what was? So that's when I started looking at people the world calls successful. Not fake ones, the ones who left their mark. Like Madame C.J. Walker, the first self-made female millionaire in America. She wasn't just stacking dollars, she was building something for her community. She used her wealth to fund schools, lift others up, and create something that mattered. Her success wasn't a paycheck, it was a mission. Or another example, Steve Jobs. Love him or hate him, the guy didn't follow anyone's scripts. He redefined industries because he refused to let others define success for him. And maybe that's the key. Innovation isn't just creating new things. It's creating a new definition of worth, a new standard, your standard. Then there's Oprah, who once said the key is not to worry about being successful, but to instead work towards being significant, and success will follow naturally. And after reading all of those, I realized, deep down, I didn't want to be rich. I wanted to be important in a sense, to mean something, to really create an impact in other people's lives. But here's the twist. Even when you chase that, contribution, love, legacy, there's still going to be doubt, because success isn't this one and done destination. It's a moving target. One day it's freedom, the next it's love, then impact. And if you don't stop to define it for yourself, you'll chase ghosts for the rest of your life. That's the problem. We let the world define success for us. And when we finally get what they told us we wanted, it's not enough. Because success isn't how high you climb, it's how true you stay to what actually matters. There's a quote by Churchill, which I absolutely love. He said, "Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." And I honestly think that's it. Not the money, not the titles, but the spark. That quiet, stubborn belief in something bigger than yourself. Even when no one's clapping. even when it falls apart. So, I'll ask you the question my friend asked me. What is success to you? Not your parents' version, not your boss's, not the one social media pushes on you, but yours. Because if you don't write your own definition of success, if you don't have an aim, someone else will create one for you and they'll sell it to you like it's gold, when it was never yours to begin with.